Since I don't really know. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really excited today because I have a couple of new things to test. So the other day I went into Ulta and I was looking for something that they ended up not having. But then I remembered that a couple of new foundations came out. So I picked up two shades of the Morphe Filter Effect foundation, and I also picked up the newest Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation. This has an SPF of 25, and Clinique foundations are kind of hit and miss for me, so we'll see how this one goes. I do know that the shade I picked is a little bit light. I picked the lightest shade, and but I think I can make it work. I picked up WN01 Flax. And then let's see, and it says dry combination to oily. I don't know what that means. Does that mean everybody? Sounds like that means everybody can wear this. We'll just see about that, right? And for the Morphe foundation, this is the Soft Focus Foundation, medium to full coverage. And this is supposed to have a, let's see, this long-wearing, oil-free, natural finish foundation hydrates skin and blurs imperfection for the ultimate soft focus look. And it has hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, and glycerin in it. One of the things that the Clinique foundation has in it that I am on the fence about, because normally vitamin C does not agree with my skin. It almost always makes me break out in some fashion or another, but this does have vitamin C, so this is kind of a half foundation, half skincare kind of thing. And so I would have to wear this more than just once, I'm sure, in order to determine whether or not this is going to work for my skin in particular. The other thing that I have to try out is I picked up the new 35S Sweet Oasis palette from Morphe, and it occurred to me that at least lately it seems like I'm all about the Morphe, and I'm really not, but I am a sucker for an inexpensive palette, and if it's good, I don't care who makes it, really. Morphe palettes can be hit and miss, I've mentioned that before, but it's real pretty. It's kind of a half pink and aqua and half neutral palette. So let's see if I can hold this up here. That is what she looks like. So it's real pretty. I wish there were a couple of darker colors, because this whole section right here is really light, and it's not that they're not pretty or whatever, but you know, everybody has these colors like a bazillion times over, and so this could have totally been like a 18 pan palette or a something like that. I mean, it really could have, but you know, it's not. That's just not what Morphe does typically. I think I'm going to do kind of a green aqua colored eye look today. In order to not keep this all Morphe, I'm going to go ahead, I think, and use the Clinique foundation. This is what the bottle looks like. It's kind of cute. Kind of looks like a little, I don't know, spaceship or cone head or something. I don't know. I don't know what this shape is. But I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one a try. But first, we're going to do the eyeballs. So I don't have anything on my skin yet as far as like sunscreen or anything like that. I am going to go ahead and prime my eyes. But I think that I think I'm going to go ahead and put on some sunscreen, even though this does have an SPF of 25. That's not really enough. I mean, it's fine for here in Seattle, where you know, it's, especially today, it's quite rainy and stuff, and cloudy and so forth. But I do want to make sure that this foundation will work for me with the usual stuff that I put on my skin. I'm priming my eyes with my Gerard Cosmetics primer, which is just the one I've been reaching for of late. Another couple of things that I picked up when I was at Ulta were a couple of, I don't know if they're new brushes from Morphe, but they were new to me. So I think these are probably existing brushes, but just now available at Ulta. So I have the M456, which is that one, and then the, what is this one? This is the M453, and this is a crease blending brush. So I'm going to take those out of the package. Also, when I was there at Ulta, and apparently this is a thing right now, if you buy, I don't know if it's the new foundation or just a certain amount of Morphe products, they give you a foundation brush. And I thought this was kind of cool looking. I will probably go ahead and use it today. This is the E63, and it's kind of an angled brush, so it's not quite a paddle type of foundation brush, which I don't like, but it's definitely not a like a flat kabuki style brush either. But those are the two brushes. So those should be good, I hope. I mean, we'll see, right? Morphe brushes are pretty inexpensive, and so, you know, I feel pretty good about experimenting with those. Since I don't really know what this palette is like, I'm gonna start off, I think, with the color Secret Lagoon, which is like the darkest sort of greenish color in here. And we're gonna put that on the outer corner, and we're gonna see how she goes. So far I like that. That's a nice color. And it doesn't seem to be patchy or anything. I quite like that color. So far so good, right? I'm gonna pick up a, kind of a little fluffy brush here. This is from Coastal Scents. And I'm just gonna go real lightly around the edge here and just try to blend that out so that I get a little bit of that greenish color without losing the deepness there, because I am enjoying that part. I'm going to go into the color Sandbar, which is kind of a caramely, mustardy sort of color. It's not very mustardy, it's not very yellow, but I think I'm going to put that in my my crease from where I left off here to the inner corner. Okay, so this is the M453. This one is this brush is a little big for my eye size and shape, but seems to be doing okay. The thing with a brush that's a little too big is that I almost always end up with something kind of on the inner part of my eye where I don't necessarily want it, but that's all right. We're doing our eyes first, and so I can definitely clean that up. All right, I'm going to take a little tiny brush, and this is the Morphe M562. I have a lot of these brushes because they're very small. This one's not very clean. Sorry about that, but I need to wash my brushes in the worst way. But I do like these brushes because of the size of them. And I think I'm going to go into the color, Hidden Cove, which is like the darkest matte sort of turquoise color, and I'm going to put that right in my crease, just below that sort of brown shade, that Sandbar that I put in just a minute ago. And I'm going to keep this pretty focused. I'm not actually seeing a whole lot of difference between that one and that first color that I put down. In other words, this color is quite dark and pigmented too, darker and more pigmented than I thought it might be. I'm going to take the shade Infinity Pool, which is the next lightest turquoisey color. And I'm going to put that right in that. Let me change my brush. Let's use that M456 one, this little guy. And I like brushes like this because they're sort of flat, and this one's pretty small, so I like that for my particular eye shape. And I'm not going to worry about that middle too much because I think I'm going to go in with something sparkly and that from my Cliona shadows because I have them and I want to wear them, and so there. So this is almost like a halo type of eye, except that I'm not doing the dark so much on both the inner and the outer edges. I'm using this lighter, more intense color on that inner part. All right, I'm going to go back to that first brush that I used. Is that what I want to do? Sure, why not? And I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that sandbar color, and I'm just going to go over the edge here. Bring that color back just a touch. Blend out the edges. You could do quite a neutral eye with this palette. Although honestly, why would you buy a palette that is, you know, that's these colors and then do a neutral look? I don't really, I can't really see the reason in that. I'm going to go back into that first color because I feel like this side isn't quite the same shape as the other side. So I'm just going to bring that out a little bit more. So far I'm pretty impressed with, I'm going to take a clean brush, relatively clean brush, and I'm just going to go back and forth in that upper crease. Just to soften everything. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I'm kind of impressed. And I'm also kind of surprised that I'm impressed. I'm going to move on from that palette and I'm going to go into my little collection of my Cliona shadows, and I got to pick something out, but I've got all these pretty shades to choose from. Oh, maybe we'll do that one because that's like a green green to blue shift kind of thing. You can't really see it, but you're just gonna have to trust me on that. You guys gotta trust me on a lot of this stuff because I'm not a good swatcher, and I know there are lots of like tricks and stuff showing to show like the shift and stuff in a multi-chrome or a duochrome, and I just don't feel like doing it. So forgive me. Let's see. I really like this little brush, this M456, which is the one that I used on the outer corner just now. I'm going to clean that off as best I can because I want to use it for my Cliona shadow. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick that up, and I think I am going to spray it just so that I get the most out of it, I guess, and hopefully help it stick well and everything. Not that there's like a big issue with these, there's really not, but we want to give it every chance we can. So I'm just gonna, ooh, do you see that? Oh my God. You can see why I wanted to wear one of these. Why would you have these and not want to freaking smear them all over your body? Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Do you see how pretty that is? These are so damn rewarding. Okay, I got to get this color out and tell you what it is. This is Vert, and I think this is one of the stained glass collection ones. One of the, you know, like the jewel tone ones. Maybe that's what it's called, the jewel stained glass. I don't know. if you're familiar with Clona, I will list their website down below. You know that their stuff is very, very pretty, very creamy, and I don't regret at all spending my coin on those shadows, because that is amazing. Let me go ahead and clean up just a little bit here. So there is some fallout from those Morphe shadows. I'm not surprised. I'm sure that at least some of these are pigments, and pigments tend to end up on your face, and that's why I do my eyes first. But in general, not too bad, all things considered. This is one of those things that I don't get freaked out about. I just fix it and move on. I'm going to go ahead and tightline with some black. This is the one from ColourPop. I also picked up a felt, no, this is the brush tip. This is like the classic brush tip liquid liner, and this is the Ulta brand. And so this is supposed to be black. We'll see. I'm going to shake it up because I can hear the liquid in there, or the little ball or whatever it is they put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and shake that up, and I'm going to see how this does. So it is mixing a bit with that Cliona shadow that I put on. Okay, so that's not too bad. I know it wasn't very much. I don't remember exactly how much this was. I think it was 11. So that's not too bad. My wings are not really related today, but that's all right. I'm just gonna bring this darkness out just a touch if I can. Let's go ahead and put a little sunscreen on. Make sure that it plays well with this Clinique Foundation I'm going to try. And I am using the tinted one today because I do think that the foundation shade that I picked up is a little bit light. So hopefully this will help with that some. All right, I'm going to let that sink in for a few minutes. Go make another coffee, and I will come back and we will put the new Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation on my face. And I am going out for a little while today and do some stuff here at home when I get back, some sewing and that kind of thing. But I will be able to do a full day wear test, and I'm going to try to come back and do a check-in at some point and all of that good stuff. Unless, you know, like I love it from the very minute I put it on and nothing changes, then I might not bother. I'll just put like a comment in the description box. But otherwise, you can expect a check-in after a nice full day of wear of this foundation. All right, I'm going to go make my coffee and I will be right back. All right, so I have basically normal skin. I'm going to go ahead and give the foundation brush a try that I picked up, or I got for free as a gift from Morphe. And we're going to go in with 2 pumps, I think, and it's just kind of your typical liquid foundation. I do have another brush here at the ready if I don't like this brush. So you can see that looks really light. But I'm not too worried about it right at the moment because I can add bronzer, and I did put that sunscreen on, which darkens my complexion just a little bit. But my body is quite pale, and you know, my ears are pale, and so I think this will be okay. So I am doing kind of a stippling motion here. Try to bring some of this over onto this side because I got a lot on that one side. The shape of this brush is kind of neat. I'm kind of digging it. And it's soft. I also have a sponge And I will go over this with that because I almost always do that anyway, just to make sure I don't have too much crap on my face. So you can see the color match is pretty decent as far as, like, you know, the rest of my neck and my body and stuff is concerned. I would definitely need to pick up a different shade for the summer. Even though I wear sunscreen every day, you still get, you know, a little bit of a tan, if you will, in the summer. And if you do like self-tanning on your body and stuff, you want your face to match your body, you know, as much as possible. All right. Nice coverage. I believe this is a, let's see what it says here. Just weightless buildable full coverage is what it says. And this has a second skin satin finish. Yeah, I think it has a satin finish. It's got a tiny bit of a glow to it. This is my favorite kind of finish. I like a satin or a natural finish. Everybody uses a little bit different words, but I like a little bit of a glow. I don't like anything that's too matte. I don't like anything that's too dewy. That was 2 pumps. That did my whole face with a nice amount of coverage. I am going to do concealer just because of the shade and stuff of this. So let's have a peek real quick before I go in with my sponge. Okay, I don't love the way it's sitting on my skin so much, but I'm not totally mad about it. I don't love the way it looks on my nose, so we're gonna focus, and around my mouth. So we're gonna focus there first. That's lifting up a lot. And I'm just going to bounce this over my entire face. We'll see how that looks, and then if I need to go back in and add some coverage, I can do that. Take your time, guys. That's one thing that I will say about makeup. I know there's lots of like 5-minute out the door makeup tutorials and so on out there. I don't do that myself. If I'm going to bother to put on makeup, I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm not really into just, you know, the 5-minute thing, just some mascara and lipstick or whatever. I just don't do that. I would rather do the whole thing or skip it all together. And I do skip it all together a lot of days. Okay, looking in my mirror here in front of me, it looks really nice. Yeah, this is really pretty. So far, so good. I'm pleased. I think that is pretty good. I'm just going to go in with my brush. There's nothing extra on this. I'm just going to put a little bit more right there, where I tend to be a little bit red, I guess. I'm going to let that sink into my skin a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and stuff off camera. And I will come back with the finished face, and I'll give you a few more thoughts on both the eyeshadow, the eyeliner, and also this foundation that I just put on my face. All right, guys, I will be right back. Okay, guys, I am back, and I've got the rest of my makeup on. I will list everything down below that I put on my face because nothing was new except for the stuff that I shared with you. So I did go in under my eyes with some of the same colors I used on the top. I went in with Sandbar and Hidden Cove. So that's what I have underneath my eyes. In general, I'm super happy with how my makeup turned out today. I think this eye look is quite dramatic and part of it is super dramatic because of the Cleona shadow that I used, of course. But so far, I'm pretty happy with the Sweet Oasis palette from Morphe. I haven't had a palette from them that I've really liked for a while. And I don't have anything that is like this in the sense that I probably got most of these colors in other palettes. But as far as having these colors in one palette, I don't think I have anything quite like this. I'm kind of interested in playing with some of the pinks and stuff too. So I may come back at some point and do another look. I probably won't bother to do anything that's neutral because I don't see myself using this palette for a neutral look. I have other neutral palettes that I like the colors better. Plus a lot of the neutral shades in here are shimmery, and so they're pretty much relegated to like an inner corner highlight, a brow bone highlight, a lid shade, that kind of thing. So, not super inspiring there, but I do like this palette. So I'm kind of excited to play with this a little bit more. I will let you know if anything goes south as far as the wear of it as the day goes on, because I am going to be doing a full day wear test with this foundation. I did powder this. I don't know that it was strictly necessary, but I went in with cream products for my cheeks and stuff, so I wanted to, I wanted to set it down just a little bit, although it wasn't like a super dewy, tacky kind of finish or anything like that. I'd like to powder the center of my face, especially because that's where I tend to like a little bit of matteness. I'm not a big matte foundation lover as far as all over the skin, but I do like to keep my T-zone relatively matte. I'm happy with the way it looks right now. I'm looking forward to seeing how this wears over the course of the day. Like I say, I have normal to dry skin. I do have a couple of little places that I didn't realize were maybe a little bit dry. Like I have a little spot on my nose, which is very strange. And a little bit of dryness on the side of my mouth. And this did kind of accentuate that. So my suggestion there would be to exfoliate, of course, which you should be doing anyway. And also add a really nice layer of moisturizer of some sort of your choice. You could probably even mix in an oil with this foundation. I don't think that would be a problem. I haven't tried it yet, so I will definitely do that just to see how that affects how it sits on my skin and so forth. But that's for another day. That's for a revisit type of video. But I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to go ahead and insert my check-in here. Hey everyone, just doing a quick little check-in. I've had this foundation. This is the Clinique Foundation that I put on this morning. I've had this on for about 6 hours. And if you've been to my channel before, you know that typically I feel like if something looks good at the 5 or 6 hour mark, it's probably going to continue to look good on my skin. This is just on my skin. Everybody's a little bit different. But so far, I am enjoying this foundation quite a bit. I think it looks really nice. I did go out for a while today. I did wear a mask today for a couple of hours. And really there's no discernible like breakdown that I can detect. I think it looks really pretty on my forehead. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did powder this a little bit. I think I mentioned that. But at any rate, I like the way this looks. Now it has settled just a tiny bit here, but I think that was more user error than the foundation itself, because that's very typical for a foundation for me. It hasn't changed as far as the way it's sitting on my little sort of dry areas. So the little spot that I have on my nose that I, didn't even know about until I put my makeup on this morning, and the little bit that's around my mouth and stuff still looks basically like it did this morning. So it's not bad. And I did spray. I used a setting spray today. I used the Collab Grand Finale one, which I like this one a lot. And it has a really nice fine mister and everything on it, but I almost always wear a setting spray, so I didn't wear that because I thought that this was not going to wear well. I wore a setting spray because I almost always wear a setting spray. So I try to keep things as similar as I can when I try a new foundation as to what I do on a daily basis. I think that this foundation is a little pricey. It's not bad. It's, I think, the most expensive one that Clinique makes. So this was $45, and most of their foundations I think are in the $35 to $38 range if I remember correctly. This is definitely one of the ones that I've purchased from them that I like the best, I think. And yeah, I will continue to wear this. I am hoping that the vitamin C in this does not react badly with my skin. I'm going to continue to wear it, and then either in the comments section or the description box or something like that, I will make a note at some later date as to how this wore on my skin over the course of a week or so, as far as whether or not the vitamin C wanted to break me out or irritate my skin in some way. But I think I'm going to leave my check-in for this foundation there for the moment, and yeah, let's get back to the regular video. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for my video today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time here. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my kind of content. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until my next video, bye guys.